Good to have you with us. You're watching The Big Story. I'm Avni Raja. Lots of news coming in. Let's straight start with the top story that we're tracking. And news coming in from Rajasthan. Rajasthan's Law and Parliamentary Affairs Minister Shanti Kumar has tabled a proposal for a trust vote in the State Assembly. Rajasthan Speaker has accepted the proposal for discussion. Those are the details coming in at this point in time. The Special Assembly session at this point. Meenakshi joining us for more details. Meenakshi, if you can take us through what's the latest that's happening.
Well, Avni, this was pretty much along expected lines because it is much better for the Congress incumbent government to move a trust vote rather than face a no confidence motion from the opposition or the adversarial BJP here. Since Ashok Gehlot now, after the developments from yesterday, seems very well ensconced and also very comfortable insofar as numbers on the floor of the House is concerned, this is a strategy, a close strategy which makes complete sense. And clearly this is something which has been vetted and approved. Remember, yesterday was the all-important CLP, which was conducted at the Chief Minister's residence himself. And therefore, instead of facing an adversarial no confidence motion, if they have the numbers on the floor of the House and are confident, it is better for them to initiate the trust vote on their own, which is what we are seeing play out. And like you rightly mentioned, it will obviously be put for discussion on the floor of the House, and we will see how this pans out.
Yes, absolutely. Meenakshi, we of course have to wait and watch as to how this proceeds. Thanks so much for joining us with those details. And we've got news coming in from Bengaluru. This is the latest in the Bengaluru violence case. The police investigation is focusing primarily on the role of four arrested accused, three of them affiliated to or supporting SDPI. Meanwhile, SDPI leader Muzammil Pasha was allegedly the first person to reach DJ Halli police station with his supporters and address the mob there. Now, another person who allegedly addressed the mob at DJ Halli police station is Saeed Ayaz. That is a third key accused, in fact, who's an SDPI supporter. His Facebook protests are also being scrutinized by cops. Besides these, Congress corporator's husband, Kaleem Pasha, is also a key accused. Let me go across to Neha, who's joining us for more details. Neha, more and more details now emerging about the key accused in this, the connections they had. If you can take us through everything you're picking up.
Well, that's absolutely right, Avni. With 206 arrests that have been made so far, the focus currently, of the police remains on a few of the accused whom, they would like to take into their custody for a few more days to interrogate them. Now, of these, we understand that, four main persons over here who are going to be interrogated thoroughly, being, Muzammil Pasha, who was, again, who had a link to the SDPI. You also have, again, Syed Ayaz, who had a link to the SDPI, who was present over there on the day of the violence, who was seen, whose videos have now emerged that Mirror now has access to, who was there amidst the crowd. Now, apart from that, also, you have Kaleem Pasha, and, so he also, again, Kaleem Pasha being the husband of a Congress corporator over here. And apart from that, also, again, the fourth person over here, whose role is emerging, Feroz Pasha. Now, very interestingly, Avni, a little background about Feroz Pasha, the same person who had actually posted on social media a post to which Naveen, the person, had, actually replied with a derogatory post. So that person also has been, arrested. And the line of the investigation now, of course, becoming a little bit more clear at this point in time. The police are going to be, of course, they have already formed of four different teams that are going to be investigating different angles of this. A little while earlier, the police commissioner Kamal Pant, in conversation with him, also went on to mention that one of the teams is going to be focusing on the arrests that are going to be made on ground. A lot of digital evidence that's being collected, that is going to be scrutinized. The CCTV footages, also, of course, the posts on social media, any WhatsApp conversations that might have happened. So all of this is what is going to be one part of the investigation. Now, the second part of the investigation will, in fact, actually be focusing on how many people were actually involved in this? Was this premeditated? Was this, very spontaneous? So these are, of course, going to be the two lines of investigation. One that's going to be making the arrests on ground, scrutinizing the CCTVs, and the second that's going to be focusing on gathering all the digital evidence that might have possibly, led to such a huge mob being mobilized over there on that day. So several crucial things that are coming to light now, but the investigation continues. And so far, we understand that 4 members who had some sort of affiliation to the SDPI and 1 person who also had affiliation to the Congress have been taken into custody.
All right, Neha, thanks so much for joining us with all of those details. And news that's coming in a day before Independence Day, the Assam police have recovered a huge cache of arms, ammunition and explosives in Udalgiri district. The police conducted a search operation today after a tip-off. The police commissioner of Guwahati says assault rifles like AK-47, AK-56, 9mm pistols and high explosive bombs were also recovered. Further investigation is also underway.
Guwahati police along with Udalguri police conducted a search operation in different parts of Udalguri district, and during this search a huge quantity of arms, ammunitions and explosive have been recovered. We have recovered AK-47 rifle 2 numbers, AK-56 rifle 5 numbers, M16 rifle 2 numbers, 9mm pistol 7 numbers, air gun 1, magazines 23, 36 grenade 5 numbers, high explosive bomb 5 numbers, explosives about 20 kgs. Further investigation into these recoveries are on.
This 74th Independence Day, saluting the COVID warriors.
Now home is not a priority because Corona is showing us now seriousness. Now I am more and more involved in Corona patients, hospital, isolation ward than family. I never go anywhere for more than 1 month. Hi beta.
Hi.
तुझं काय वाटतं ना माझ्याबद्दल? मी इतके 4 महिन्यापासून काम करते.
You are the strongest. You have survived everything.
Thank you. Take care.
Watch our special coverage this Independence Day as we salute our COVID warriors all day on Mirror Now.
And time now to take a quick look at what else is making news across the nation. Director General of Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau appoints Captain S.S. Chahar to inquire into the circumstances of the Kozhikode plane crash. A 5-member panel has been set up to probe the accident, which claimed 18 lives. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh launched a portal for opportunities for Make in India and defence via video conferencing today. The portal is part of the ministry's Atmanirbharta Saptah push. Chief of Defence Staff General Bipin Rawat also attended the event. The Supreme Court has held lawyer Prashant Bhushan guilty of contempt for his alleged tweets on Chief Justice of India S.A. Bobde and his 4 predecessors. The Apex Court will hear arguments on Bhushan's sentencing on 20th August. A 4-story building collapsed in the Hatia area in Kanpur following incessant rainfall, killing 2 people. Rescue operations underway and an army team has been called to join the operation. A young man was shot by 3 bike-borne men in Gaya. The young man was shot at several times, after which he was sent to the hospital for treatment. Footage of the CCTV cameras installed around the scene is being scrutinized. Police say the culprits involved in the incident will be arrested immediately. Moving on now, 2 men equipped with PPE kits attempted to rob a jewelry store in Nashik. Now, the men who wore these kits, they tried to conceal their identities wearing the PPE kits. In the visuals, in fact, you can see the 2 robbers breaking into the shop using car jacks. Now, the robbery attempt was foiled by alert locals but investigations are still underway.
This 74th Independence Day, saluting the COVID warriors.
कोविड में तो कभी भी फ़ोन कर देती है डॉक्टर एनम कि भाई ये पेशेंट का पता करो, ये पॉजिटिव निकला है। फिर उसके आसपास 50 घरों का सर्वे के लिए बोलते हैं। ग्लव्स नहीं, मास्क नहीं, वो तो हम ज़बरदस्ती मांगते थे। मैं सोच सकती थी कि मैं हो सकती हूँ पॉजिटिव, क्योंकि मैं तो कंटेंट जोन में भी जाती थी, लेकिन ये नहीं पता था कि हमारी फैमिली में और लोग भी पॉजिटिव हो सकते हैं।
Watch our special coverage this Independence Day as we salute our COVID warriors all day on Mirror Now.
And time now to slip into a quick break, but lots more news lined up. Don't go anywhere. And breaking news that's coming in, a fringe group held Ganesh Chaturthi inaugural ceremony in Chennai, violating the orders of the Tamil Nadu government. Hindu Munani cadres tied holy thread and laid a ceremonial pole in front of a temple in Chennai. The cops, however, reached there and removed the pole as well as dispersed the crowd. Those are the details coming in.
Tamil Nadu government has denied permission for any kind of celebrations during Ganesh Chaturthi, which falls on 22nd of August, and permission for placing idols at public areas, placing processions or even immersion of idols at water bodies have been completely denied, stating that these measures are required to combat COVID-19 situation. However, one of the pro-Hindu groups in Tamil Nadu called as Hindu Munani has actually challenged the state government, claiming that this is a kind of atrocity and this is actually being planned by officials with Naxalite thoughts who are giving such kind of ideas to the Chief Minister, and they said that they will defy this cancellation of permission and they will place idols in various locations. In fact, 1.5 lakh locations in Tamil Nadu, and in fact as a kind of the first step, what they did today is that in Chennai, in front of this temple at Triplicane, they gathered, almost 40 cadres gathered, and they started with the ceremonial tying of sacred rope and placing a mast and things like that. And thankfully the police came on time. A large number of police came over here and they dispersed them. In fact, as we speak, police are still at this location making sure that there no untoward incident occurs. However, Hindu Munani has challenged the Chief Minister and they are claiming that they will celebrate Ganesh Chaturthi. Yet the state is very clearly has very clearly said that these measures are required to make sure that they can control the infection at this moment in Chennai, in Tamil Nadu. The number is 5,800 minimum every day being reported, and that's why why the state has mentioned that all these measures are required to combat COVID-19. With camera person Vijay Shekhar, Pramod Madhav for Mirror Now.
All right, moving on now. Incessant rains for the past few days have created flood-like situation in several parts of the state of Gujarat. Visuals are on your screen are from Khera Anand and Surat, where waterlogging has been reported after heavy showers halted traffic and forced commuters to wade through water. Those are the visuals on your screens there of the situation as far as Khera Anand as well as Surat is concerned. You can see the amount of water that has collected, creating flood-like situations. So heavy water logging there in some parts of Gujarat due to the incessant rains.
This 74th Independence Day, saluting the COVID warriors.
जब पहली बॉडी आई थी तो डर तो हर किसी को लगा था सर, डर तो हर किसी को लगता है कि कोरोना की बॉडी है, अगर हम हाथ लगाएंगे तो कहीं हमको कोरोना ना हो जाए, हमको कोरोना हो गया तो हमारे बच्चे कौन देखेगा पीछे। एक दिन तो 28 बॉडियाँ जलाई थी तो उसमें टाइम इतना लगा था, खाना तो दूर हमारे को बैठने तक का टाइम नहीं मिला था। कोरोना के टाइम पे हमारे को कहीं जाने के लिए नहीं मिला, कभी हम महीने में हमने 1 छुट्टी 2 छुट्टी कर ली।
Watch our special coverage this Independence Day as we salute our COVID warriors all day on Mirror Now.
Moving on now, in a first of its kind, the Indian Army is empowering local women in Jammu by training them to follow their dreams of donning the police or army uniform and to counter terrorism in the region. Women in Mahor area of Jammu are being given physical as well as arms training for this purpose. Pradeep Datta sends us this ground report.
Living under constant shadow of gun has further strengthened resolve of these girls here in Pir Panchal Heights to counter terrorism, to ensure peace and prosperity in region. And men in olive green are in fact helping them pursue their dream of donning khaki so that they can ensure peace, so that they can ensure prosperity, so that they can ensure better future for the people living here in Mahor and many other areas. Let's speak to some of them and try to find out what really led these girls from orthodox family to come out of the close confines of their homes and start this training that was initiated by army here in Mahor area. क्या वजह है कि आप ये ट्रेनिंग कर रहे हैं?
सर हम सबसे पहले हम इस हथियार के बारे में हमें कुछ जानकारी नहीं थी। हम सबसे इस गन से हम बहुत ही डरते थे, लेकिन आज हम इसको हम हाथ में उठा रहे हैं। सब कुछ अपने मतलब मर्जी से हम इसको हम हाथ भी लगाते हैं, खोलते भी हैं, जोड़ते भी हैं। इसके बारे में आज हमें पूरा नॉलेज है सर।
और आप भी ट्रेनिंग कर रही हैं, मैं देख रहा हूँ पिछले 2-3 दिन से आप ही लगातार आ रहे हैं इस ट्रेनिंग में। तो आपका क्या मकसद है इस ट्रेनिंग को?
सर मैं अपने देश की सेवा करना चाहती हूँ।
So that is the spirit, in fact. They are saying that they want to serve their motherland, India. And not only that, this self-defense program that has been initiated by Army, this is going to ensure their security, and this is also going to help them rescue many others during exigency. You can see most of these girls of the age group of 18 to 23 here, they are undergoing this training. They are provided physical training and they are made to learn how to handle these weapons. Something what they said, they were initially afraid of these guns, but now they know how to handle these weapons. कोई मुश्किल तो नहीं हुई आपको, घर वालों को कैसे कन्विंस किया आपने कि आपने इस ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम के लिए जाना है?
सर मेरा तो बचपन का एम था कि मैं मतलब बेल्ट फोर्स की जॉब करूं, मतलब आर्मी में करूं सर। तो मेरे माँ पापा तो पहले से ही उनको पता था कि जब मेरी एम थी, मैं बचपन पे जिद करती थी, तो उन्होंने कहा जो एम है तो आप उसी के लिए करो, अपने देश के लिए करो।
Well, let's move on now and tell you the story of Sheila, a 32-year-old nurse who leaves her young daughter and husband every day to come and treat patients at the Rajiv Gandhi Hospital in Chennai. We spent a day with Sheila. She worked around the clock, selflessly taking care of patients. Take a look.
Every morning for the last 32 years, Sheila wakes up at 4 a.m. to first finish off the kitchen work for the day. She prepares breakfast and lunch for the family and then makes her way to work.
காலையில் எழுந்துச்சு ஒரு பிரேக்ஃபாஸ்ட்க்கு ரெடி பண்ணிவிட்டு லஞ்சுக்கும் ரெடி பண்ணிவிட்டு ரைஸ் மட்டும் எங்கள் ஹஸ்பண்ட் வீட்டிலேருந்து அவங்க சூடாக வச்சுருவாங்க. இல்லட்டா அதையுமே செய்யணும், அதையுமே ரெடி பண்ணி வச்சுட்டு போயிடுவோம். பிள்ளைங்க ஸ்கூல் விட் வரைக்கும் எல்லாமே ஆரி தான் பேக் பண்ணி கொடுத்துருவோம். உட்காந்துக்குங்க, பேக் பண்ணி கொடுத்துருவோம். ஸோ பிள்ளைங்க எப்போ ஸ்கூல் விட் வரைக்கும் வந்து ஆரி தான் சாப்பிடுவாங்க. நம்ம வீட்டில் இருக்க அம்மாவும் அப்பா வீட்டில் இருக்கிற அன்னைக்கு சூடாக சாப்பிடுவோம், எல்லாம் ஃபேமிலியாக உட்காந்து சாப்பிடுவோம்.
Sheila, a nurse, works at Rajiv Gandhi Hospital in Chennai. Sheila is one of the unsung heroes of these trying times. Working in tough conditions for more than 12 hours is not new for Sheila. But of course, this pandemic has put her in unprecedented circumstances as well. She claims she has never seen such a large number of patients, most of them panic-stricken.
பப்ளிக் இப்போ நிறைய வர்றாங்க நமக்கு ஹாஸ்பிட்டலில் வந்து நிறைய பேஷண்ட்ஸ் வர்றதுனால அது யூஸ்வலாக இருக்கிறத விட அந்த ஸ்ட்ரெஸ்ஃபுல் ஒர்க்லோடு ஜாஸ்தியாக தான் இருக்குது. இப்போ பேஷண்ட்ஸ் எல்லாம் வரும்போதே வந்து பாசிட்டிவ்ன்றப்ப அந்த ஆங்ஸைட்டி ஸ்ட்ரெஸ்ஸோடு தான் வருவாங்க, என்ன ஏதுன்னு தெரியாது அவங்களுக்கு. ஸோ அதனால் அந்த பயத்தோடவே வருவாங்க. உடனே வந்து எதாவது ட்ரீட்மெண்ட் நடக்கணும் அப்படின்னு அந்த இதோடு இருப்பாங்க. ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி பேஷண்ட்ஸை நம்ம வந்து ஹேண்டில் பண்ணணும். அவங்க வரும்போது ஒரு சிலர் சண்டை போடுவாங்க, ஒரு சிலர் உடனே நடக்கணும்னு சொல்லுவாங்க.
Sheila's focus is to first comfort the patients, assure them of a good treatment because she understands how fear of the unknown can hit even the strongest.
கோவிட்னு வரப்போ வந்து எனக்குமே பயம் இருந்துச்சு ஸ்டார்டிங்கில். அதுக்கப்புறம் நம்ம வந்து அதை பற்றி டீப்பாக படிச்சுக்கிட்டதுனால அது கோவிட்னா என்ன, இப்போ நமக்கும் அது வந்துருமோ, கோவிடும் நமக்கும் வந்துருமோ, நம்ம டெத் ரேட் எல்லாம் ஸ்டார்டிங்கில் வந்து ஒரு முதல்ல ஃபியர் தான். ஸோ அதனால் அந்த பயம் நமக்கு வருமோ, நம்ம ஏதாவது ஹெல்த் அஃபெக்ட் ஆயிருமோ, நம்ம ஃபேமிலி அஃபெக்ட் அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு ஃபியர். ஆனாலும் வந்து நான் வந்து அதாவது ப்ரேயர்ஃபுல்லாக இருப்பேன், ரொம்ப ப்ரேயர்ஃபுல்லாக இருப்பேன். கடவுள்கிட்ட ஜெபம் பண்ணிவிட்டு அந்த மாதிரி ஜீசஸ்ட்ட ரொம்ப ப்ரேயரில் இருப்பேன். எல்லாருக்காகவும் ஜெபம் பண்ணுவேன், கண்ட்ரிக்காக, நம்ம ஸ்டேட்டுக்காக, நம்ம சிட்டிக்காக, அதே மாதிரி ஹாஸ்பிட்டல்ஸ்க்கு பேஷண்ட்ஸ்க்காக தினமும் காலையில் ஜெபம் பண்ணுவேன். அப்போ அப்படி இருக்கும்போது நான் வந்து என்ன பண்ணுவேன், ஆண்டவர்கிட்ட எனக்கு எதுவும் வரக்கூடாது அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஜெபம் பண்ணிக்கிட்டே தான் நுழைவேன்.
Sheila got a big jolt earlier in May when she lost a colleague to coronavirus.
எல்லாரும் அழுதோம். ஆனால் மேட்டன் இருந்தப்போ வந்து அவங்க ரொம்ப சின்சியர். அவங்க சர்வீஸ்னு ஓடிக்கிட்டே தான் இருப்பாங்க, டைமிங்ஸ் பார்க்க மாட்டாங்க. காலையில் வந்து நைட்டு 8 மணி வரைக்கும்லாம் இருந்துட்டு போவாங்க, டியூட்டி பண்ணுவாங்க. அந்த மாதிரி வந்து அவங்க இறந்துட்டது நாங்கள் எல்லாருமே அழுதோம், ரொம்ப மனசு கஷ்டம்தான்.
For Sheila and her husband, who is a health inspector, the only major concern was safeguarding their own daughter.
ஹாஸ்பிட்டலேருந்து வீட்டுக்கு வரோம்ல, வந்தோடனே அந்த குழந்தை வீட்டில் இருக்கா, அந்த பயம்தான் வரும் தவிர வேறு எதுவும் வராது. வந்தோடனே நாங்களும் முதல்ல வந்து வந்தோடனே அவளை மேலே அனுப்பிட்டு இவளை வந்து நானும் ஹாஸ்பிட்டல்ன்றதில் 2 பேரும் குளிச்சுட்டு தான் அவளை கீழே வர சொல்லுவோம். அது வரைக்கும் அவள் வந்து மேலே தான் இருப்பாள். அதை ஃபஸ்ட்டு ஏதாவது மார்ச் ஏப்ரல் அந்த ஸ்டார்டிங் ஸ்டேஜில் கொஞ்சம் பயம் இருந்துச்சு. அப்படியே கொஞ்சமாக பயம் இல்லாத நார்மல் ஸ்டேஜுக்கு வந்துட்டு.
Sheila's daughter Andrea, who is preparing for NEET, has just one wish, that her mother gets proper rest.
She used to sleep nicely, get rest. So I won't disturb her because I know like 6 days of work, at least I should live for her one day. Like I'll live her, then she will cook me something good. Like I will ask her, cook me this, cook me that, and then she will cook me some kind of my favorite dishes, and she will give me that. I will be eating, and we will be talking for some times, and we will go to our neighbor's house. Like we will sit and talk outside, or we will go to my relative's house. We will spend some times with them, and that's it.
Cover the entire body from the feet to the head in this equipment, and wearing 2 pairs of gloves, a face shield and also a goggles to make sure that they are protected from the infection This is how a frontline worker, a nurse, is sacrificing herself and for the goodness of others, the patients. This is how they are doing their job. This is just one day, one shift for them, and this is like 2 personal protection equipments they have to wear every 6 hours in a 12-hour shift. And yes, of course, the time increases as per the requirement because patients' flow is still at large in the state of Tamil Nadu, especially Chennai. We're seeing 1,100 minimum, and this is just a bit of sacrifice that we could show to our viewers from the side of a nurse, a staff nurse, a frontline health worker in Chennai. Incredible job done by them for the safety and protection of others. With camera person Vijay Shekhar, Pramod Madhav for Mirror Now.
And on that note, it's time to wrap up this edition. Thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned to Mirror Now.